Alright, what's going on, everybody? This is Victor's Dragon 360, and it's not like always I do like the drama related videos like that. In fact, I don't think I've ever done it on this channel, but it's time. I think it's time to kind of have a look at the truth, and judging by how many Warcraft 3 Reforged content there's been on the internet nowadays, you probably already know the truth, but you know, I'll just throw my several cents in. The Warcraft 3 Reforged obviously launch was a complete disaster. It flopped on many levels because it didn't deliver what was promised, but we got a reply from Blizzard, and we're about to see the honest things that are basically in that reply. Let's have a look, shall we? So, we got Kaivax there, community manager, and let's read what is basically there. Hail War 3 players, aka ex-players of real Warcraft 3. So, we've been following the discussion the past couple days, well, and banning you left and right for valid questions. Anyways, and want to thank you for all your feedback as well as your support, and for being banned for those above mentioned valid questions. Okay, first off, we want to say we are sorry to those of you who didn't have the experience you wanted, although it was us promised and advertised everything you wanted in the first place. And we'd like to share our plans for what's coming next, which should have basically been implemented from the beginning. There were a few hours during launch day when we experienced server load issues and impacted players' ability to jump right in, understandably, which should have been predicted and anticipated since it is a launch day, but we were able to resolve those later in the day, rather than preparing and avoiding it beforehand. Separate from that, we've seen community feedback about different aspects of Reforged that we wanted to take some time to address, and even more time to keep banning those asking for valid refunds. Before we go on, the team is excited that Warcraft 3 Reforged is finally upon us, so much upon, in fact, that it literally erased the need for original Warcraft 3, and we are fully committed to supporting the game for a long time to come. The next few patches and updates we'll discuss below are just part of our ongoing plans, which should have again been implemented from the beginning. Yeah. This game is an integral part of the Blizzard DNA, which sadly has been recently mutated by the Activision virus, but nonetheless, with a team that loves Warcraft 3, and we are looking forward to pouring our hearts into Reforged and the Warcraft 3 community for the long term, as well as pouring something else into your ears to avoid the chargebacks from pre-orders that we have no control over, sadly. One of the concerns with Reforged that we've seen are the visuals when selecting classic mode and the audio, which was voiced over by some drunk peasants rather than the real voice actors. We've identified the bug causing the colors and shading to look different from the original Warcraft 3, and we're testing a fix that will be incorporated in a larger patch addressing this issue and others. We expect to release that later this week. The patch will also address many other known issues, such as fixing some portrait animation and audio bugs, implementing some UI fixes, and more. Basically everything that we promised but didn't get to release. Please keep an eye out for the patch notes for a detailed list of all the bug fixes, and on our forums rather than news, since that is where we feel safer to release our so-called apologies for a screwed over product. Another area of concern we are seeing is regarding online features such as leaderboards and clans, blah blah blah. Oh, who even cares at this point, since we haven't fixed the game itself yet, including the main Chrome app menu, which applies to all Warcraft 3 players, including those who haven't purchased Reforged. At BlizzCon, we talked a lot about how the team is actively working on standing up the back end to ensure a smooth transition to this new MMR system, and well, that's kinda it. We didn't do much besides talking, much like we did with StarCraft Remastered. As with Remastered, these and other features will be included in the major patch for Reforged, which will also address the issue for players of the original game. We'll share release plans as work progresses in the coming weeks. Please be assured that the team is hard at work on standing these features up, as well as on banning those of you guys who are too impatient and refund rather than choosing to wait for those features. Bugger. There are some individual concerns we've seen that we are not currently planning to address. Seriously, that's actually what we say. Check the forums if you do not believe me. And we wanted to give the community a heads up. As of version 1.30 of the original game, we saw very low usage of tournaments and of the Reign of Chaos rule set, so we removed both in mid-2019 in version 1.31. Eliminating the maintenance for underused elements has helped us streamline our overall support of the game and focus on areas impacting the most players. That said, we do anticipate that players who prefer Reign of Chaos will find custom games with similar rule sets, which we hope will help satisfy that concern, as long as they continue to abide by our policy and don't turn Valve on the restricted IPs, okay? Related to that, as we talked about last year at BlizzCon, we did not want the in-game cutscenes to steer too far from the original game. Although we did show the upgrade improved versions in advertising to attract more sweet pre-orders, we went a little deeper into thought process behind that at the show, as well into Idiot's mind to turn some nostalgic screws around. But the main takeaway is that the campaigns tell one of the classic stories in Warcraft's history, and we want to preserve the true spirit of Warcraft 3 and allow players to relive these unforgettable moments as they were, albeit rebuilt with new animations and the higher fidelity art that was again promised and welcomed by you guys, that we chose to ignore nonetheless. Oh well. We know this update doesn't address all questions, and we do not care, frankly, but we are committed to the development and support of this game. We hope you'll keep an eye out for this week's patch instead of charging back money from Blizzard and future updates, and let us know what you think as we continue tuning things. Until then, thank you as always for your support and passion for Warcraft 3. We appreciate all your feedback and your ding ding, of course. Hey, keep pre-orders coming, and we'll continue to keep the Warcraft 3 community updated on everything we're working on. Sincerely, the Warcraft 3 Reforged team. Tidding. Okay, I think, to be honest, very, very honest answer that would have been if it actually was what they wrote. Instead, we got this. Yeah, just so you know, this is the actual reply. I'm sure you've heard of it countless times, seen it in different videos. Basically, everything they say is that they're trying to screw up the... my bad. Fix the screw up of a release of Warcraft 3 Reforged, and basically they're trying to hint that this is your expectations, guys. We are not in charge of them, so those of you who didn't have the experience you wanted, and so on and so on. But I got to give credit not necessarily to Blizzard directly, but to the Blizzard support team of Battle.net. I got to give them credit, and this is without any sarcasm, because I actually went through about 9 or 10 continuous ticket follow-ups, something like that, and they basically went through each step with me. They didn't ban me or anything. But obviously I didn't post in forums, I posted in support thread. And basically each time that I kind of started ranting a little bit, they replied with courtesy and respect. And in the end, there was actually an interesting story. I might show you guys later if you want. Basically, when they asked me to try certain options, I said, well, I tried them, they didn't work. How would I go if I wanted a refund? They immediately refunded me the game. So like, I'm not sure if that is actually something people have been spreading around, that it's impossible to refund, or if they actually fixed the refund process. But I didn't ask for refund. They actually refunded it to me automatically, I guess, because I asked about how it would work. And yeah, I mean, from certain point of view, it's actually a good thing that they did it, because people were trying to get their money back, and the support finally fixed it. And obviously, I asked them to kind of cancel the refund, because at the end of the day I did ask not for myself really. I just wanted to know literally the conditions of which refund works, because and I had to like rant about it later on. But yeah, they did allow me to keep the game, and yeah, this is in no relation due to respect for Blizzard or anything, but respect for the Battle.net support team. They did a really good job, I think, in providing support for the screw-up that Blizzard did, which is Warcraft III Reforged. But why I actually didn't refund myself is because I do believe there is still hope for the game. There is still some things that are being improved. Like, we obviously don't know from the letter when those updates are coming out, but they did start patching it, so at least it's something. Let's put it this way. And to end it on a positive note, let's have hope in wisdom of what's at least left of the old Blizzard, and let's hope that Warcraft III Reforged get fixed, and most importantly the classic version gets back to the store, because at the moment you don't get any options with classic version in the launcher, only in the game itself, which doesn't actually change the audio or has tons of bugs, but basically it doesn't work as it should. But yeah, let's hope they fix all that, they bring back the old version, and yeah, believe it or not, I still believe in wisdom of the company, in their ability to come back to what it was once, and to give us a good game. At the moment, it's the lowest rated game on Metacritic. Hopefully it changes, and I do really mean that. If you agree or disagree, then please feel free to post in the comments. I'll try to read them every day and reply where necessary. And I'd love to hear your opinions, obviously, on this matter, because I've been a fan of Warcraft 3 since my teenagehood, basically. And yeah, it's really sad to see what happened to it, but again, let's remain hopeful and see how it goes. So Blizzard, it's all up to you now. Alright, thanks for hear me rant and go through the honest so-called reply from them. And yeah, that was Victor's Wagon 360. See you next time. Oh, and by the way, if you're watching it on release day, today I also released a mini clip about another game of Blizzard. It's actually a really interesting one, still being updated, called Diablo 3. So yeah, I basically don't crap all over Blizzard just for the sake of it, because they do make some good stuff still. So that's why I believe in their wisdom. Alright, thanks everyone. That's Victor's Wagon 360. See you next time.